This seems a little more promising. Seems like it's working better.
All right.
Oh yeah, then he'll just send the link.
All right. Yeah.
And then it's the same. If people are gonna watch it on Facebook, they watch it on YouTube as well.
Okay, I'm gonna share the link with you.
Okay. And I'll share that link on Facebook so that they can go on there.
I'm gonna.
We'll just start over, right? We're just gonna start over. Okay.
Okay. So I shared the link for YouTube. Let's see here.
She's working. She can't be her.
Hey guys, just checking Facebook here for a second.
All right. We have a problem.
Is it working on YouTube, guys?
Well, it's working on YouTube, but the link won't go into Facebook because of a restricted code or something like that.
Really?
We can only do one.
Let's see.
We'll do whatever. Listen, if they don't catch it now, they'll catch it later. It's just like that.
I know, but it might be hard for.
Let's see. Let me try one more thing here.
No problem.
Unreal.
No worries.
Want to see if Facebook will work one more time?
You know, I know Instagram works. A lot of my friends do the interviews on Instagram. They give them an hour though, an hour per minute. But
let me see.
You're not used to it. You don't have it. I mean, I have lots of friends on Facebook, so
yeah, that would We'll see.
Okay, we got 3 people that have joined. Okay, some people are coming in to YouTube. Guys, thank you so much for hanging tight there. And if you can do us a favor and share that link with your friends back on that would be really helpful. But we've got a few people here. If anything, we'll come back and share it again with everyone. Jesse, I'm so sorry for that. It's so.
I'm the first guy. It's fine. This is, la primicia varón. We're good.
Yeah, man. Oh man. I was telling Jesse there, that's what we get for making fun of starting at Spanish Puerto Rican time.
We started right on time, and we're like, we're not like Spanish time, right? And
then we are. Well, anyway, Jesse, it's good to have you with us today. And if you don't catch it now, maybe you're catching it later. I'll be sure to post it on Facebook so that you can see this later. It was going to be better to have you on there so that we can chat a little bit more, but we'll do what we can here. So, Jesse, again, glad to have you here. Thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate you, big time, brother. And so, Jesse, I guess I'm gonna just go for it, and we'll just start. Unless you were mentioning some words that some pastors had shared with you and ministers of how you view music ministry. You want to share that again, if you don't
Yeah, you
mind?
know, I was just saying earlier that when I met, there's two people actually that said the same thing at a different time. But when Bishop Eddie Long was alive, and also T.D. Jakes said that Jesse, your gift will make room, but continue to think bigger than just Hispanic. I mean, the African American need you, the white folk need you. You know, just sing Jesus, man, and it just started to really bless me to the point where like I no longer thought you know of us, especially the trio, just the trio music. You know, it helped me to see bigger than that.
Yeah, for sure. And Jesse, so you have been in ministry for a really long time. How many years have you been in ministry so far?
Well, I mean, if I was honest, somewhere around like you know, maybe 45 years or so.
No way. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm about to be 59 this October.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And you still jam, bro, for sure.
I feel pretty good, man.
Yeah.
It's good to me. I mean, listen, this is all my real hair. I got a little gray coming in. I shaved it today. I have a little gray too, but I decided to put it because I've you know haven't had not like you have a chance to get haircuts these days. I got to get one.
Yeah, yeah. What was the last time you got cut?
Actually, I got one like 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay.
A friend of ours, but you know I need a real cut.
Yeah. And by the way, how have you been doing, during COVID? How's your family and all during this entire thing?
Family's good. Our church is up and running again, and the church that I go to, a wonderful church called Grace Christian Church here in Sterling Heights, Michigan, where I live now. People, for some people think I'm still in Boston, but no, I've been living here for over 2 years. And when we joined this church, this is where God definitely wants us and wants me.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's good.
I'm involved in the men's ministry, and every Saturday morning at 6:30, I meet with some men, and at 7 we do prayer time and a Bible study, and then we go have breakfast together. And so for the last couple of months, we've been doing it through Zoom.
Yep.
But those I have about 30 men, 20, anywhere from 20 to 30 men, and let me tell you, those men love me and I love them back. And I do all the old songs for them, so they like me. The other day I went I said from the start you built a place in my heart,
yeah,
and no one else could fill. Remember that?
yeah.
But you kept your spirit from working in me. I wouldn't live life honestly. And then the chorus goes, I'm forgiven. Now I have a reason for living. Jesus keeps giving and giving.
Nice.
So they love those songs, man. And I love singing for them. There's this one guy that always asks me, if he goes, I know he's gonna ask me. He goes, Jesse, he's an older guy. He goes, because he lives. And so I just started, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. What a great song, right?
It is.
Oh,
It is.
I love the songs.
When you sang I'm Forgiven, the other day I was watching a documentary on the life of Russ Taff. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Awesome
I got to
documentary.
meet him.
Yeah? Oh my
I got a great
gosh.
story about Russ Taff. I got a great story, man. We were playing this event at T.D. Jakes' church that was called Build a Bridge.
Okay.
And everybody who's anybody was there that night. I'm talking Sandy Patty, Lorna Harris. The list goes on and on, so Russ Taff was there. I mean, Mary, Smokey Norfolk, the Katinas. I mean, okay, so this is what happened. T.D. Jakes and Bill Gaither decided to do an event together. Now, Jakes had just had the trio for his event at Manpower, and Jakes and Gaither talked about doing an event called Build a Bridge, and Jakes told him, and I know this because I heard it from Jakes myself, okay, so Jakes told him, you bring all the other bands, I'm just bringing one band, and he called us. He said, can you guys make it to this thing? I said, absolutely, man, whatever you want, Bishop. We made it. So listen, man, when we started playing, right, when we started playing, God really gave us favor, and there's a video online, you guys can see it. It's called Momentos Live. Well, Mr. Gaither leans over to Jakes and said, where'd you find these guys? And he said, yeah, these are my boys, man. These are my Puerto Rican boys, he told them. So, you know what? 3 days later, the Gaithers signed El Trio de Hoy to a 4-year record deal.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I mean, I
That's
could go
awesome.
into the details, but I'm just giving you the bottom line of what happened.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, but that day, so anyway, Russ Tapp, to finish the story about Russ, he came up to me and we had just played and gotta give his favor, like, so he came up to me and he said, man, you been on that guitar, man? And I said, oh my goodness, Russ Taff. He goes, yeah, you know. I said, man, listen. I started singing the songs to him. He goes, hold on a second. He went and got his wife. He came back with his wife. He says, tell her. Tell her. I started singing the songs I sing out Forgiven. I was singing the songs from his solo albums to him, you know, the album Medals.
Yes.
And you remember those records, man. They were great.
Medals.
Well produced, you know.
Yeah.
And I, you know, and then I even told him I was a big fan of the album that he did when he did the hymns. And so
Incredible talent. Yeah, and yeah, great. That's awesome. So let me ask you this, Jesse. So you've been in ministry for 45 years, right? How did it start? Like, when did you pick up the first guitar? Like, you know, what introduced you to music?
You know, you notice that I have the guitar upside down, right? You notice
Yes.
that I play upside down. This guitar looks correct because it was after years of playing. I had a guitar made for me, but normally, I mean, the strings always look upside down to people who know. And so what happened was my father, he still plays 3 chords. My father played these 3 chords all his life. And you know, that's the music from you. Allá adentro veo un bulto tapado. No sé si será un lechón asado. You know, that's that music from that. So when I was 7 years old, I had sung at a church, the church that we were at, and the musician gave me the wrong tune, and I was singing too high. Me empezaron a hacer unos gallito, and I started like, you know, and I went crying to the bathroom because the musician messed up my song. My dad comes over and says, Junito, ¿qué te pasa? What happened, honey? I said, "Me dañó la canción." And he says, bueno, cuando lleguemos a casa, yo sé 3 tonos de la guitarra, yo te lo voy a enseñar. And he did. He taught me those 3 chords. And then after he taught me those 3 chords, he said, ahora tú le pides a Dios que te enseñe lo otro. Ask God to speak to the rest. And but I didn't know that I was holding the guitar wrong because I'm right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm right-handed. I write right-handed and everything. I bowl right-handed, shoot basketball right-handed, but I play guitar lefty upside down and bass like that too.
Yeah. That is amazing. All these years, I didn't know. I always thought you were left-handed.
Oh, no, and I use, sometimes I say that too. I said, el niño aprende lo que el papá le enseña. You know, I say that often. The child will learn what the father teaches him. My daddy taught me upside down. I was playing upside down.
Wow. Is he left-handed?
Still is, yeah.
He is. Wow. Yeah.
He picked up my guitar and he went like this. Just a little slower. But he still did the same 3 chords.
And man, the Lord showed you a lot of chords, let me tell you.
You're so sweet. You're too kind. You're too kind.
So, okay, how old were you roughly?
About seven
About
years.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. So you grew up, you're playing guitar and you're playing in your church, I imagine, right?
Yeah. By the time I was like 11 years old, 12 years old, and Orlando was a year younger than me, we were the musicians of the church that we were at, you know, and you know, but I'm talking like, you know, the corridos back then, man, they were fast and long, you know. You remember, you know,
I should.
Allá en Monteore, I mean, fast the whole way, bro. you know how that was.
Oh Lord, yeah. Really, yeah, fast and long, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
That's for those days. I mean, I love those times. I love the old songs, like I was saying earlier. So I'm a fan of that. I carry that with me, you know.
Yeah, sure. And okay, so then fast forward a little bit to Gonzalez. How did that start? Like, what happened there?
Well, my father, you know, he had gone through a time where Gigi Avila had come through. You remember who Gigi Avila was?
Of course.
And he had preached the sermon against El Cajón del Diablo. you know. And my dad was very convicted, and he threw the TV out. He threw the TV out, and you know, I'm the oldest of 8 kids, and here we are, like, I mean, freaking out, like, you know, no more wrestling for me. I loved wrestling, you know. And my dad was like, no, aquí vamos a hacer algo diferente. He started doing this thing where, like, we started having church services at home on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but the other days of the week we had service at church.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember in the very, very beginning when I wasn't really even really playing guitar very well, but I mean, it was all like my brother Orlando was playing in the pots and pans. You know, we were just, but I was probably like 14, 15 when one day I did a song, we were doing a song, and I could tell that my younger brothers were harmonizing, you know, just automatically, it was just coming.
Wow.
And I started the Gonzalez brothers that day. I started it.
Yeah.
We have an album. Could you go get that record that I have over there? I'm going to show it. I'm going to show you an album of our first record. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No.
Somebody from Florida, a guy named Pete Rodriguez, sent me a sealed album. A sealed album.
Album. Like not CD, nothing.
You know,
album.
Cassette, because, you know, we made many cassettes, but we did a run of albums. This is the very first. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you.
Is it still sealed?
Still sealed.
Oh my goodness.
The back of it. This is the back of it. You'll see. And I'm showing the back first because this is where I am. My brother Orlando's on the side. And my sister Serena's. And
wow.
my sister
I feel like I've seen this album, to be honest.
What's to see this side? This, right?
Yes.
These are the brothers, Stephen, Che, Elijah, we call him Che. Harrison has always been dropped dead gorgeous. He still is. And then my brother Benny, who passed away like 12 or 13 years ago, my youngest brother of all of us. I think you knew that, right? We lost Benny.
No, I didn't know that. Oh,
a lot of people might not know, but Benny passed away.
Oh.
And we miss him dearly, but anyway, look, brother, this album is still sealed.
That's amazing.
And I just found out that I could get $500 for this copy. 500?
You could do better than that.
And, well, no, but it's a sealed copy. That's a lot of money for a record because it's a collector's item now.
Yeah, yeah.
This was done in 1980, 1970 to 1980. This is when this album came out. So can you believe that, man? All these years.
I'm pretty sure if we put that on the internet, you can get a lot more than 500.
I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna try. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep it like that, but
that could be your retirement right there. So Jessie, tell us what you've been up to lately. Like, what's been going on in your life? So you're in Michigan now.
I'm in Michigan.
Yep. So.
Oh man, there's a lot of songs from when I started and from till now, a few hundred songs.
Yeah.
And many concerts, many things, many trials, tribulations, many mistakes that I've made, many people that I hurt along the way. But God is faithful, and
Amen.
Thank goodness for second and third chances.
Amen.
I like a preacher who said it like this. He said, I want to thank God for ESPN, and I want to thank her for, this is my 1,830th mistake that I've made. It's still faithful. And I kind of think about that all the time. It's like, if we were to count how many times we messed up, I mean, we lose count.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so good.
God's grace, right? So it's nothing but the grace of God, right? So so you were with the Gonzalez brothers. When did you? I mean, when you've been doing this now full time, right, for several years? Yeah. And how did that happen? Like, when did that start? Even
the Gonzalez brothers used to play a lot on the East Coast, and you saw us a bunch of times, I'm sure, when we were.
Sure.
But brothers started getting married, and then we started doing less and less music. It was harder for all of us to get together. But Freddie, who was in the Gonzalez brothers, the only person who was not a Gonzalez, I think you know that. Mm-hmm. Freddie Velez, who joined us back in like the late 80s. Freddie was singing with the Gboyz the whole way through, and he's got a brother named Cuso, which you're very good friends with.
Yep.
And we had a trio back in the early 80s. It was called Trio Rehoboth and we just did a couple conventions, but, we just did, a song like, aunque pasen meses y años, invierno y verano, y no te veo llegar. Freddie, espero en tus promesas, right?
Yep.
Let me tell you, we did it for just on and off, and we did a couple of, bar mitzvahs and things like that.
Yeah.
But then years passed by, and we did the Gonzalez brothers did a concert with it where Cuso Favorite, and we did a couple of songs. The people loved the sound of those songs. We did a song that goes, 20 años de prisión. The place just loved it, and Cuso and I, Freddie, talked about, hey, you know what, we got something here. Let's do something. So.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but it wasn't until 1997 that we recorded. We recorded an album, and you know what? It had the song on it that goes, La mujer samaritana invitaste a beber, mas no pudo comprender. Right? You heard of it? You heard that?
Of course, yeah.
Dame a beber de esa agua. Man, let me tell you something. The people loved it, and it was just two guitars and maracas and singing.
Yeah.
And then we decided that we were going to give it a shot. We went full time in 99 and 2000. We asked Alex Moran. I'm going quickly. Alex Moran with us, live. That was great. That's a great story. I got to share. We were playing. You remember Shambach?
Yes.
We
Way back
in Harlem with Shambach, and they invited the trio to play. But I knew that we were playing for all these morenos. We couldn't just go with the two guitars. I needed a drummer and I needed a bass player.
Yep.
So I brought my brother Chuck and I brought Alex. And while we were playing, we were jamming. And we were like 30 minutes into the jam, we were like, people were going nuts everywhere. And I said to Alex, Ale, quédate conmigo. And he goes, okay. That was the contract.
That's how he joined the band.
That's how I joined the band. But I got to tell you a quick story because this is powerful. And I'm probably going to get Alex in trouble. But listen, the thing about that day was powerful because Alex's best friend at the time, I won't say his name, was getting married. And he was supposed to be at the wedding. But when he got the call from me, Alex always wanted to play with me because Alex grew up listening to the Gonzalez brothers.
Sure.
He was a big fan. And we had just played an event in Providence where he was playing with another band, but El Trio just came with those two guitars, but the power fell again when we just played, and there weren't any drums or nothing. And Alex said to me after the service, bro, man, I hope I get to play with you guys someday. I said, it'd be an honor, man. I said, and we left, and I told the guys, try this kid out one of these days. And let's say we have an event. So we called him. And he goes, ya, hermano, pero me voy a casar. Mi amigo se va a casar. My friend's getting married. I'm the best man.
Oh.
Best man for the wedding. And then he talked to his wife. He just got married. He talked to his wife, listen, this guy's getting married, but Jessie invited me to play with him. I don't know what to do. She goes, I think you should go with Jessie.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
So we got Alex, and now everybody knows Alex. A lot of people know Alex.
Yeah, my gosh. Yes. No, it was a good move. I hope his friend forgave him for that one or will.
His friend is a good guy. Yeah.
That's good. That's good to hear. If he would have been a maid of honor, might have been a different story. But best man, maybe we could get another one.
That's right. You're right about that.
So that's so good. So I'll tell you that the first thing I remember of the Gonzalez brothers for me was just a snare, like like everything, everything was funky.
Chuck, man, my brother Chuck.
Yeah, man, he was just smacking that snare, and that's when I fell in love with the Gonzalez brothers. I'm like, I could dig this, and you guys always had that, the vocals always so tight, and you guys brought so much of that.
Rene Gonzalez, the first time he heard us, he heard a song of Rios de Agua Viva. I don't know if you remember that song. Siento en mí.
Yep.
Rios de Agua. And Benjamin Rivera had taken a cassette to Puerto Rico and showed a lot of people, and they were like, ¿y quiénes son estos, man? Esto es algo diferente, esto está chévere. It's bien funky, And then we become, Rene and then we become friends. And then a couple years later, we did an album with Rene that is one of the favorite things I've ever done. I've worked on a lot of albums, but an album that really, really cool. I still listen to it today, and I still love that record I did with Rene. So if Rene's watching, te amo, Rene.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. My personal favorite as well, to be honest.
Oh,
And I mean, Rene has so many great records, and you guys have so many great records. But that one right there is dynamite for sure. Um, so you've been in ministry a long time. Can you tell me a little bit about your perspective when it comes to music ministry? How do you view music ministry? What does it mean to you?
and it's crazy. It's changed. My opinion and everything has changed when I joined the church that I'm at right now. Because when you go through a process in your life and you lose everything or you think you lost everything, and God gives you another chance, um, I'm just grateful. So I joined this church that I'm going to, and I'm the bass. I usually play bass there when I'm there. They don't really know me as a guitar player, you know.
Wow.
And some of the kids, some of the people know because they've seen videos, and you know, but now Lord has really just blessed my family there. We're so loved. The church that we go to gave my wife and I a Range Rover,
Wow.
and that's the car that we're driving around. That's the car that
Wow.
we drive. And I can't see enough to drive, but my wife drives. And she never drove before. She's from New York. She never drove before. She came here. She's got her license, and then I've got 5 kids total. I have Jesse, who's preaching the gospel, lives in Charlottesville, Virginia, and
Nice.
Jesse had his day too with a band. I don't know if you got to hear his band. They were called Kingdom.
No.
They used to do hip hop, and they did some great. I thought Jay brought the CD. She probably took it. I was gonna show that to you. Well, let me show it to you. Look at this. This was my son's band.
Oh, you know what? They do look familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were called Kingdom. My son Jesse is right here. That's my Jesse. He's 33 now, and he's a preacher of the gospel. Then my daughter Janelle, who just had another baby, and so I'm a grandpa a few times now. And these guys, let me tell you a quick story about them.
Sure.
We were doing. I was really promoting my kids. I was very excited about them. It's my son Jesse, and Orlando's son Nate in there, and then the other two are Jesse's best friend, Dominican guys. These kids, they're Jesse's brother-in-laws because Jesse married their sister, my son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we did this event in Chicago. Um, we were playing with Israel Houghton.
Wow.
There was Israel Houghton, El Trio de Hoy, and Kingdom. I brought Kingdom up. They opened the whole thing. Se quedaron con el canto, bro. Those kids.
Really?
This was tracks, because the hip hop thing.
Yeah.
Man, we sold every CD we took, and I took boxes of CDs, and then we took CDs, and that's when I realized, wow, that my generation keeps on. I'm just excited that my kids they love the Lord.
Yeah.
My son Jesse's amazing. My daughter Janelle as well. Janelle's an excellent writer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have what my brothers call my second batch. I've got Jay. You probably saw the video of her
Uh-huh.
playing the ukulele and singing. And
Yeah.
then my daughter Layla, and then my little boy Benny, which we named after my brother who passed away.
Ah, gotcha. So that's awesome. That's great. So albums, right?
Album.
You talked about the one that you made with Rene.
Yeah.
Would you consider that to be your favorite, or is there another one?
It's one of my favorite records. I don't know, because I have a few things, but I think Vida Saludable is pound for pound
Mm,
my best work. Don't get me wrong, I love Rene's record. Rene's record is at the top
yeah.
of the stuff I've done. But man, those songs, like when we did, Pero si me ayudas, Señor, sé que puedo. Those songs all have a special place in my heart.
Sure.
And on that record also is Cuando Más Sentido Esto, the song called Descanso, which, by the way, Descanso is Rene Gonzalez's favorite song out of all my songs.
Really? Wow. That's awesome. And so how about musicians that you look up to? Who are some heroes
All right,
that you
well,
have?
Andre Crouch is the greatest influence in my life, musically. I got to meet Andre Crouch years later, and I got to hug him and sang at his church with El Trio de Hoy. And, after service, by the way, we're singing a song, the trio is singing a song that says, breathe into my life. We're singing that song. I look over, and Andre Crouch has his hands in the air raising, praise God. And I just felt like so humble. At the end of that service, Andre sat at the piano and played my favorite songs for me.
Wow, that's awesome. Andre Crouch.
Greatest days of my life, man.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's and so heroes. How about some of your favorite places that you've played or events? Any memorable
Well,
moments?
yeah, I mean, we played a lot of places. You know, we played a lot of places. But the events that stick out the most when the Gonzalez brothers did Música Evangelización in Puerto Rico with Jorge Rasky, there were a lot of thousands of people there. Then we did Clamor as well, and we did Música Evangelización, it was called. And then the events I did with TD Jakes, Manpower.
Yeah.
We did Mega Fest. That was a big one. That was incredible. And then a couple of, but we've also done some incredible events with other musicians, like, those festivals that they do in the summer. We've played with Third Day. I mean, the list goes on and on. I could tell you a bunch of names: Steve Curtis Chapman, I mean, Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith, all these, we've played in some of this, Ty Tribbett. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Burlap to Kashmir. I mean, a lot of people that, you would know. Jennifer Knapp, Jeremy Camp.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
Jackie Velasquez.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my brother Benny, before he passed, he toured with Jackie Velasquez for a couple of years.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you have el trio de hoy. Any chance for el trio de mañana coming?
Well, the trio, we're still very, very close. We're a close knit group, but if we get a call, we played I think twice last year.
Oh yeah.
You know what we did that was cool? We did Mariano Rivera's Christmas event, which was really cool. That was a fun event. You know who that is, right?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a Yankee fan, but I'm a big.
Yeah.
I like Bernie Williams, and I like these guys that we met along the way.
I played in a concert once, and as I'm playing, I happen to look to the side of the stage, and I see a guy that looks just like Mariano Rivera, and we were playing in the Bronx, and I'm like, wow, that guy looks just like him, but I just kept playing. Yeah, after we were done with that song, they come up and introduce him, and I didn't even know he was a Christian at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and his wife are pastors. They've had us over there at their church.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, if you don't mind, so you are self-taught, like all self-taught, or really? Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, I play upside down to begin with, and
Exactly.
But I mean, you were asking about influences, and I want to tell you a little bit about that because I love Brazilian music the most. I mean, I like all kinds of music and funk and stuff, but there's a couple artists, Brazilian, a guy named Dori Caymmi, and then Djavan. As a matter of fact, I like Djavan's music so much that my son Benny's name is Benjamin Djavan.
Oh wow.
After this artist that plays samba and bossa nova. So I love that stuff. I love bossa nova stuff.
That's awesome. And so what have been some things that have helped you developing, especially if you had to go alone? I think a lot of us Spanish musicians, or a lot of us are self-taught, and we try to glean wherever we can. So what have been some resources for you?
Well, the things that I used to do when I was younger, I remember playing along with a Spyro Gyra record when that, and I was called Catching the Sun. That album came out like 1981, I think. And I was loving that. I put it on and I play guitar, play bass to it. And, I hearing those songs, man, it did something to me. And then, brother, one day I was like 16 or 17 when I realized, oh my goodness, if I hear it, I can play it.
Yeah.
And that changed the way that changed the perspective for me, because I just realized that God had given me a gift, and I knew it was a gift from God. And I've always said it's nothing of my own. It's the Lord's blessed me.
Would you consider yourself to have perfect pitch? Or,
no, I think when I was younger, I think I did, but I was, when you're young, you think you know a lot, and and then you get older and you realize you don't know that much at all. Somebody plays a lot more than you, but I mean, my ear's pretty good still. Sometimes I listen to a song and I go, ooh, B flat,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and that brings up a good question. So
Hold on, Joe wants to tell me something. What?
yeah, go for it.
Who?
That's coming
Okay.
for the kids.
Sorry.
All right, we're wrapping up
No,
anyway
no, no,
soon.
no, no. Don't wrap up. I don't know
You
what
sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jesse, so you were talking about technique, but there was something else.
Yeah.
Se me fue. Se me fue.
I want to play a song for you. I want
Oh,
to
go
play.
for it. Go for it.
I want to play something because this is the song that I wrote when I was like maybe 16, 17. Um, and I went to bed high that night, just feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna write some songs. I had written a couple, but this one it says people who hold on, can't play out of tune, man. You know, Ricky Guadalupe might listen and say the guy has an out of tune guitar.
By the way, some people want to know what what you're working on, production wise.
I'd
We'll
love to
get
tell
to
you.
that.
I'd love to tell you that. A bunch of stuff going on. Okay, so and I'm just gonna do a quick version of it. But
Sure.
it starts in C, but all of a sudden it says Lord, what have I done that makes me feel like I lost your love? Lord, what have I done that makes me feel like I lost your love? And if in any way I have lost what I had, please give it back to me. Next time I'll be more careful. I need your
That was beautiful.
love.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
You know, that's the question I was going to ask you, and I think that song spoke a little bit to that. But if you were to start all over today, right? You're a 20-year-old young man, and you were starting all over. What would be different this time around?
There'd be many things that would be different. There would be many things. You know, the Gonzalez brothers, for not having the social media, you know, if we would have had social media, we would have gone a lot further as a band, I think. You know, but it's what God intended. It was His plan. The trio benefited from a little bit more of that, and that's a blessing. But I think that I would have, and I'm gonna be careful how I say it because I'm not sorry, you know, about I mean things have happened in my life and I mean the storms that you go through and stuff. You know, there's things that you repent from and that you know you shouldn't have done, but everything that you do takes you somewhere.
Sure.
And I'm saying this humbly, but I feel like the Lord's gift to me is to give me a new song even at this age because you know I've written songs, but let me share a couple of older songs that you might have heard. One that says, Te amo Jehová, fortaleza mía, roca mía, mi castillo, mi libertador. Te amo Jehová, fortaleza mía, roca mía, mi castillo, mi libertador. Te exalto, fuerza de mi salvación, mi alto refugio lo eres tú. Con gratitud te brindo hoy toda mi adoración, porque no hay Dios como tú, mi Dios.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, I want to share with you a couple of the comments that are coming here on YouTube. Actually, a couple people. Aida Gonzalez is actually watching, and
That is right.
yeah, of course I know who she is. She actually sang with my dad's band when we were younger. So yeah, I know Aida really well. Aida, hello. So, so many, everybody's just is talking
Hey,
about,
she's doing a comeback. She's
what's
doing a
that?
comeback. Yeah, she's doing a comeback, and I'm gonna be a part of that comeback.
Yeah, yeah,
For the first time, I'm gonna be. My brother Harrison and I are gonna do some backups on one of her songs.
really. Oh, Aida's a phenomenal singer, great
Please,
person.
her that's for spilling that. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Some people said, they were just ahead of their time with the Gonzalez brothers. That's for sure.
Yeah,
So many great things. I got a quick just a speed round for you of questions.
Okay.
All right, so we have to go quick on these.
All right.
Real quick, dog or cat?
Dog, my boy Cotton. Hey, big Cotton over here.
Dog all the way. What kind of dog do you have?
He's a cockapoo.
Okay, he's coming over.
Yeah.
All right.
Bring Cotton over here real quick so I can show him.
At Netflix or YouTube?
Honey, but you gotta tell him I'm on a live. I can't attend him, but I love him. Tell him I'll be there in a little bit.
Yeah.
He just came over.
No worries. Netflix or YouTube? Which one would you rather?
Ooh, Netflix.
Netflix. Okay. This one probably easy one. Would you rather listen to music or watch a movie?
Oh, music all the way. Everybody knows that.
Ah, look at this. Ah.
Yeah. He's the best. He's an older. He's like 10 years old now, but he's the best little guy there is.
Ah.
Thank you, baby.
Look at that.
Hey, Layla, come over so I can show you. You guys saw Jay? Just real quick. It's okay. Your hair's not combed, but they can still see you.
Hey.
Layla Grace. I named her after a singer named Layla Hathaway that I like, a jazz singer.
Okay. Awesome. Nice meeting you. How about iPhone or Android?
Come on, man.
Have to do it to you.
Our brother Harrison, right? For years he said, yeah, now he's got one. And
What's
now
what? One what?
He's got an iPhone.
All right. And you?
Oh, iPhone all the way.
All right.
What are you?
iPhone, dude.
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
Hasta yo llegábamos tú y yo, Aaron.
How about Mac or PC then?
Oh, Mac. Yeah.
Mac. All right. All right. Do you rather, well, you kind of said this, you passenger or driver, but I guess you're the passenger.
In my case, you don't want me driving. I can't see very, good. I drove a couple times and I did hit a couple of mailboxes.
Yeah. There's people that see and do it too. So it's do you prefer the city or country?
I prefer the city. Big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm from a small town, Milford, but I used to go to New York so much, and then all the major cities. I love Philly. I love, all the cities, man. All the cities, I know the spots to eat when I go. I remember, and some of those places, like you go to Philly, well, you gotta have the Philly cheesesteak if you go.
Sure.
You go anywhere you go. There's some really good places.
Yeah. And here, alcapurria or pastelillo?
I like them both. I actually go with relleno de papa.
Relleno de papa, yeah. I have to agree with that. But alcapurrias, for me, I mean, if I had to, but I'm with you. You gotta both. That's the speed round. You did great. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, that's easy, man. I thought the question was gonna get hard. I was waiting, waiting for my top 5 NBA players. No, I'm messing with you.
Yeah. Well, actually, we talked a little bit about that. Favorite sport? What is that?
Well, it's UFC now. I like the fighting game, the UFC, and I like boxing. But besides that, basketball, pros. I like pro basketball.
And what's your team?
Oh man, Boston Celtics all the way, baby.
Oh, okay, yeah, there we go.
I live in Michigan, but man, aquí la gente in Michigan take that real serious with the Michigan State and Michigan. It's the craziest thing. At my church, right? I was wearing this Michigan State shirt, and one of the pastors goes, "We don't do that around here." For Christmas, he bought me a nice jacket, Michigan, and I wear it all the time.
That's funny. Hey, I'm just gonna give a quick, just a few moments, see if anybody wants to ask any questions on YouTube. If you're there, or somebody said, Wilson Velasquez says "con pique." And you got, yes. Yeah, of course. Wilson is the man. And of course, Ricky is joining us, and Ed Guadalupe also.
Ed's with him right now. They're visiting. Ed went over there to visit him.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Actually, Ed is playing on a track for me. He's playing on the track that you played, my brother, because you.
Is that right?
Yeah, Ed's gonna play lead guitar on it.
Ah.
But boy, I want all of y'all to know that Robertito played keys for me today. He did a beautiful job.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for that. And let me. Oh, somebody wants to know. Abner wants to know acoustic guitar or electric. I think I know that. I think anybody that knows you knows that.
Everybody, listen.
Oh, really? We don't know.
No, because I have a love for my Fender Telecaster 1986, 87, but the guitar that I played with the Gonzalez brothers, I still have it at the studio, and that's the guitar that I love forevermore because that with a wah-wah pedal and a chorus, that's my favorite. You know, and I like to play funk, but now that I play with the trio all those years and I've been playing acoustic guitar, I think acoustic now more, but between nylon and steel string, I play steel string more these days than nylon. I play nylon once in a while. I just, by the way, I just played guitar for one of Renee's new songs, Renee Gonzalez, and this is the guitar that I played, and Renee's gonna love it. I'm just gonna sing over the chorus, but it goes like, well, he did it in G. It went like, So you know what's happened to me, brother? After the years go, you learn to play for the song, and you can't add extra chords.
Yeah.
You just can't, and I can't stand musicians that can really play, but they have to play it on every song. No, I mean, if a song doesn't call for it, don't throw the chord.
Yeah.
You know. So Renee is one of those people that taught me. He really is one of those people that taught me that I got to simplify stuff so that the masses of the people will like it, because not everybody likes jazz. I love it. I know. Everybody likes it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so funny. Well, the joke we always used to grow up with was Marino. His songs only had 3 chords, and he sold more recordings than anybody else.
I gotta tell you something about Marino, though. I gotta tell you this, man. Listen, hopefully we can go for another minute, because I don't want to leave you yet.
No, go for it.
Man, listen, I was like maybe 13 or 14 years old, okay? And we're playing at a church in Chicago. I remember the church like if it was yesterday. Marino was in the audience, and we played. And Marino liked me. He liked me. He come up to my dad, and he said, ese muchacho necesita una buena guitarra. Yo quiero que, he gave my father 100 cassettes. And he said, vende estos cassettes y compra una guitarra ese muchacho, porque esa guitarra que tiene es una porquería.
Oh, wow.
Bro, years later, I got to talk to him on the phone. He remembered that day, and he was proud of me.
Wow.
He said, yo te he visto con los hermanos y te he visto con el trío. Tú eres una bestia. Me encanta como. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was so moved. I was so, privileged. And then I got to meet his daughter, Paola, whatever her name
Paola
is.
Marina, yeah.
I met her at a concert in Arizona, and when I told her who I was, she goes, "Mi papá habla de ti mucho." Mi papá, he used to use that testimony that he saw these kids and that he knew they were going to be somebody. Y él sembró. Él sembró. Well, you know what? I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've given guitars away. I've given really good guitars away. I gave a guitar. Do you remember the late Felix Gonzalez?
Yes. Yeah.
We were very dear friends. I gave Felix Gonzalez my Ramirez, which is the most expensive guitar I ever owned in my life.
Wow.
And I gave it to him because he needed a nice recording guitar. And whenever he would record, I would say, mano, pero esa guitarra es una bien porquería. He goes, man, necesito una buena guitarra. And I had 2 at the time. And I gave him, I was going to give him the one that wasn't as good. But no, I decided to give him the good one.
Wow.
Good one. And I don't repent, because we became such good friends. His last days, I was in the hospital playing guitar for him. He would call me. I would take an Uber to visit him, and I'd play for hours for him. I'd sing songs for him. I'd play for him. And he told me that he loved me, and praise God for his life,
Amen. He definitely left a beautiful music legacy, for sure.
One of the baddest bass players ever, man.
Yes, absolutely.
To a track of him playing bass, we didn't even know it's him, but he was bad.
Yeah. Hey, somebody's asking here, John Maldonado. John, how are you, John, by the way? He's asking,
Juancito Maldonado or the other Maldonado from Brooklyn. There's a couple of
I
Maldonado.
don't know. I played with John Maldonado. If it's the John I'm thinking about, play bass and he plays guitar too. I don't know if he was from Brooklyn
Well,
though.
I know both of them anyway. One of them
Okay.
is a guitar player, one of them is a bass player.
I
But
think this John is in Florida now. Let us know if you are, John. So he's asking, what inspires you when like to write a song? Like, how do you
yeah.
get inspired?
Oh my goodness, man. Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. I get inspired by music first. Music. And now I don't hardly write as much. I don't hardly write as much, but sometimes I come up with an idea, but I come up with melody. I love melodies, and that speaks to me. Like there's a new track that I'm recording that goes like, just then it goes. Anyway, today Jessie Caraballo. Do you know who that is?
Yes, sir. Of
Jessie
course.
Caraballo, the drums on that track. Oh, he killed it! and Juancito Maldonado from Boston played bass on it. And man, I've got some really good. This kid Fabiano, the Brazilian kid, que mucho toca ese nene, brother.
Yeah.
From Boston, he played on my track, and a kid named Jay Williamson from Nashville. See, that's the thing about this. That, like, you build relationships, and then that's what I wanted to talk for a minute about to musicians.
Yeah, go for
You've
it.
got to build relationships for the future because relationship goes further than money. For example, and I'm not saying this to brag because I'm not bragging, but Jessie Caraballo, who's one of the baddest musicians alive, when he was born, his parents named him Jessie because of me, because of the Gonzalez brothers. And his wife and him came to me after a concert. She was 8 months pregnant. They said, "This is gonna be little Jessie if he's a boy." They didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. And I put my hand and I said, "Well, if it is little Jessie, I pray that God give him a double anointing of the music you've given me." And today, that young man, I mean, he's one of the baddest and humble guys.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it, guys. I mean, no matter how good you get, you gotta know. Yeah, that's what I like when I met Bernie Williams. The player for he could really play guitar too. He could really. He was so humble. He came up to us. He bought all of our CDs. How many CDs do you have? I said 10. Now let me have all of them. We got to talk. We became friends. I've had the pleasure of meeting some great people, and the great ones know that it's a gift from God. The great ones. And then there's guys who don't play that much, and they're real difficult. They're real difficult and stupid about oh man, well, you got to pay me royalties. All kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's a thing, I when we were talking, I think one of the things I really appreciate about you and your family, the fact that you guys are PKs, right? So you see a pastor's heart.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, could you share a little bit about what that looks like? Because we do have musicians and singers that they have all the talent in the world and could really be a blessing to their church.
Yeah.
And yet, like you said, sometimes ego gets in the way. What could you say to that?
Well, let me tell you something. If I can be honest with you, this is going to be a tough thing to say. And if somebody from my church is watching it, I hope they don't get offended. But we for the most part, we do like these rehearsals that we have to practice Thursdays, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't practice Thursday, you can't play in the weekend. But many times we're playing the same songs that we played, and once in a while they'll do something new or whatever. But I used to really get annoyed. It used to really, really bother me. And I went to God with it because I was almost like going to quit because these songs have 3 chords. I mean, what do I have to practice? I already know this song. The minute it starts, okay, I know where that song. Okay, you want to play it in D? Okay, and I was frustrated. And then the Lord showed me that it was about obedience. Yeah. It's about the sacrifice of being a part of a team, being something greater than you by yourself.
Amen.
Because you know what? What is done for me now when we have rehearsal, I go happy. Yeah. And you know what? If I know Sam, okay, well, yeah, I don't have to learn. Because the funny thing is sometimes they send those songs and I don't hear them till I go over there and practice them. Yeah. But I have learned to worship from where I stand. And it's tough because I was always the front man. I was always the leader of the band in front of the people. But now I'm in the back. People don't know my name, but I'm worshiping God from where I stand.
Amen. 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 And if I may, for just a moment, we had a situation in our church. I was a pastor in New Jersey, and we had a gentleman there, extremely talented. I mean, the degrees could tell you how talented, and his recognition could tell you how talented. And it was such a shame just to see someone that could help others not do it, someone that could really invest in others not do it, and just broke my heart as a pastor, because this is all about, and I think for a long time, I hope the mentality's changed, but for a long time it was all a competition. Me playing the keyboard versus him playing the keyboard, or guitarist against guitarist or drummer. And if we just would have taken the mindset, hey, let's learn from each other. Like a friend that I have, David Morales, that actually did a really nice thing for you earlier as a tribute.
How coaching was that?
Oh my gosh. And I learned so much from him, from just sitting. I owe the guy money, really, for so much I learned from him.
Listen, he played keys when the Gonzalez brothers did a reunion. I brought him from New York and he played with us.
Yeah.
And not only that, he also played key. This is what touched me about him. And I must say, we were recording a newer album for the Gonzalez brothers, and there was a song we did. You probably remember the song that goes, remember? So we did it kind of like a Brazilian feel. And I sent it to him. And when I wanted to pay him, he said, no, man, please. He said, please, let me put my part, man. I mean, I want to do, and I was so moved by that.
Yeah.
I'm so moved by him, and we're very good friends still today. So I appreciate him, and he's one of those guys that give you the shirt off his back.
Absolutely.
And you learn from people like that,
Absolutely. Yeah. It's that, it's the Bible says that. I can't quote the verse. The Bible says, let someone else praise you and not you from your own lips, right? And I think if Christian musicians, if we took on that mindset that says, let another praise you, and I'm going to learn what I can. I'm going to do everything I can, but I'm going to do it for his glory. I think that changes the mindset. But Jessie, it's been a real pleasure. Anything else you want to just add?
Are we done? Because man, I want to stay on another minute.
Yeah. Go ahead. You talk to me.
I've done a few of these. And in the past, I was so excited, and so that I'm all over the place. And now I just realize I've got time. I don't have to rush. And I want to share something that would benefit other people. I want to thank God for the people in my life who've helped me to get to where I am. And listen, I've got the greatest brothers in the whole world.
Amen.
I've got the greatest brothers, the greatest sisters, and my mom and dad are amazing people. My dad is 81. I'm going to visit him next week for Father's Day with all of my brothers. Wow. And my daddy's amazing. My mom is incredible. Yeah. So I'm thinking about a song that came to my heart. Never is watching still, I don't know, but he's going to record this song of mine, and I'm going to sing a little bit. I think it's precious to me. I'm glad that he likes it. The chorus goes, si supieras que cuando afligido estás, es cuando más cerca estoy de ti. Si supieras que veo tus lágrimas cuando te encierras en tu habitación, quiero que entiendas que escucho tu petición, no te impacientes, te contestaré, porque todo tiene solución, no tengas temor, yo no te dejaré.
Oh, man.
Hallelujah.
Praise God. That's awesome.
You like it?
I love it, man. I got to tell you, I feel like, I know we're not physically together, but, between people chatting and you on the guitar, and it just feels like we're in this big room, just kind of sharing this moment together. And it's so good.
Yeah, I want to be a part of whatever you're going to do. I think it's an awesome thing you're doing. You started like a week ago or something?
Yeah, we started a week ago. I don't know, a Thursday night. I thought, you know what, man, all these musicians we know, and there's no place for us to connect. And I actually started looking for a group on Facebook, and I said, let me just start something, see what happens. And a week later, we got 100 people.
Yeah.
and it keeps every day it keeps
There's some
growing.
players on here. There's some players already. I've seen names. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Ooh."
And you know what? I'm hoping for the future, have some people come on, maybe teach some stuff, help others out. Because there's a lot of young guys too that are trying to, I'm sure we can invest in some younger generations, right? Of musicians. So that's awesome. I'm gonna give me just a second. I want to look through some of the comments here, make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions. Ricky Guadalupe keeps talking about funny stories, something about a taxi that somebody said something about a song. Do you know what he's talking about? I'm
You
trying to
know,
find.
I have so many stories. I wonder which one he's talking about, but I have, man.
He
There's
is talking about the one where the guy said, "Who's the idiot who wrote
Oh yeah,
this?"
that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, so here we go. Thank you, Ricky. So there's a song, right? You heard the one that goes, "Hermano, si tú tienes prueba," right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the funny thing is that everybody thinks I wrote that, and for many years, listen to this. For many years, I took credit like I wrote it. Now I did help the song because the song needed help, but the song was written by a guy that was my ex-wife's uncle. His name is Benito Felix. That's his name, and he wrote the actual chorus of that. But anyway, but since I worked on it and helped it with the music, I took credit for it for the longest time, which is something I didn't have to do because I have, man, this is exactly what I'm trying to tell people, try to tell musicians. You don't need credit for something you didn't do. You don't need it. And, there's no reason to, I've written so many really good songs. Why do I have to worry about that three-chord Charlie song? Because everybody likes it and everybody loves it, right? But let me tell you something though. Let me tell you. So one day I'm in the car and they're picking us up for a concert. And Ricky's funny, he remembers the story, but they're picking us up and I get in the car, and in the car when it was in Puerto Rico, by the way, Puerto Rico. That song was playing in the radio. And there was a person in the front who was a famous person who was there, but he didn't know me. I'm in the back, and the song is playing. And he goes, ¿Quién será el idiota que escribió esa canción? Who's the idiot who wrote that song? And I felt like, so I was like, yo soy ese idiota.
That's a
But this is the first time I ever tell, the world that Benito Felix wrote that song. Everybody thinks I wrote it. I don't need the credit for it because, God is so good. God gave me a song after that one, and I'm going to play a little bit for you.
Go
Maybe
for
I
it.
couldn't do it, but Ricky would know it. I'd sing it in churches everywhere, Hispanic churches, Spanish churches. They love it because it's a real song. I don't know if you've ever heard me do it. I said, it goes, Señor, perdona la irreverencia en tu casa. Perdona esos hermanos que siempre llegan tarde. Perdona esos hermanos que nunca llegan. Y si yo soy uno de ellos, perdóname. Y si yo soy uno de ellos, perdóname. And then the chorus goes, perdóname, Señor, si estoy dando a 30, pudiendo dar a 60, perdóname, Señor. So I've written songs after that I wrote those, and those are mine. But what I'm telling, but the story I'm trying to get is that you don't need to brag
Yeah.
about what you wrote or what you did. As a matter of fact, the most incredible musicians that I've ever met, I'm going to tell you, there's this guy named Jay Rosado from Philadelphia. He's got to be one of the baddest musicians, bass players. He tours at Lauryn Hill. Okay, but he's a believer, and his brother is a pastor there in Philly. Let me tell you something, man. He's so humble, and he's incredible.
Yeah.
And I love people like that. Ricky's an incredible musician. He's
Phenomenal.
very,
Absolutely.
very humble guy. Ed, also a good musician, and even they have another brother. Those three guys are all bad, Frankie. All
Yeah.
those guys
Oh,
are bad.
Frankie. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Total. Yeah. No. Phenomenal. Let me see what else they're writing on here.
Who's that? Matt.
Matt.
Matt and his daughter. No, well, I'm gonna finish this. I got company.
Yeah.
He could come here if he wants. I don't want to leave yet because I feel like no, don't worry about it. I want to stay because this could be the turning point for somebody's life.
Amen. Yeah.
There could be a musician that could be down there. He could have lost everything,
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about that for a minute. I was on the brink of getting divorced. Moved to Michigan because my wife had left Massachusetts, and I was gonna I was gonna move on, but I have three beautiful kids, and I did not. I came to Michigan. I took an apartment by myself. Um, Stayed out of the light. The light. Nobody knew where I was. I was kind of. But the Lord gave me a second chance, and you know, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. He put my family back together.
Amen.
And this guy that's just walking in here right now, he's a white boy friend of mine that's walking in. He just came to visit, and I'm gonna have him come out so they can see you. This is one of the first guys I met at our church. We've become very, very good friends. He's an incredible musician. He plays
Hey,
keyboard
Matt.
at our church, and he's so sweet to me. So that my wife doesn't have to usually get up. He'll take me to church, which is 15 minutes away, and brings me back. Takes me for the rehearsals. He's really good to me. So I appreciate Matt. His name is Matt Thornton. Good guy. Good cat.
Good to talk to you, Matt. Thank you for coming on. Does Matt?
You can say
Does,
it from your perspective when I joined the church, Matt. Tell them, because I like the way you told me once that what happened when I first came in and you saw me for the first time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of wrote him off. I was like, yeah, some people talk a big game, but when you get them, they're like, but Jesse not only talked a good game, he played a great game, So this guy's no joke. We did some stuff together, and then played in worship. Being able to play with other people as skilled and talented as him to create atmospheres for people to encounter Jesus, there's nothing like it.
Amen.
And I'm humbled and blessed to be able to play with not only Jesse, but the team that we have.
Yeah.
These are people who truly seek not the Lord's hand, but his heart.
Amen.
And their passion is to reach people and create those encounters where Jesus can move in their lives. And
I played in his wedding when he got married.
Oh yeah.
I played a
Nice.
special song for him, and he married a beautiful girl named Dahlia, and I sang a song for them.
It was awesome.
And we're and we hang all the time, and he's like a part of our family.
Yep.
When I leave, he takes care of Cotton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when we leave, he takes care of our dog. That's how much he's my friend.
Jesse, I feel like your life is a musical. You know how like people live a little bit and then they break into song and movies. Anytime we've ever talked, you've always got a guitar and something just that reminds me of a song.
Yeah, you're right. And I still am like that. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about playing something for you a minute ago.
Go for it.
Because I wanted to share that my favorite style of music is the bossa nova. That's my favorite in samba. So I'll take any song, and I turn it into that. So I'll take my songs, for example, one that like I don't know if you've ever heard the one that goes. There's so many, but any song anyway. When here's one of my songs. It says, "Cristo es la roca de mi salvación, mi redentor, mi protector." That's the song from the Gonzalez brothers. That was, the chorus went like. That's the way that song went when we recorded it. But all the songs, I take them, and I usually write in bossa nova first.
And then everybody switches it on you.
Then I switch it. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you before with Hermano Si Tu Tienes Prueba. Are those kazoos that you guys are playing?
Yeah.
Is that?
Real kazoos. Yeah.
It's
All of us had kazoos. We recorded in the studio with it. And then to finish the story about that song, which is pretty interesting that I actually said it out loud about the Hermano Si Tu Tienes Prueba. After I wrote the song that goes Perdóname Señor, which everywhere I went, I wrote another one that I sang just a few times, but when I sang it, the people loved it. And the pastors told me to record it, but I haven't recorded it. The song is called Hey, that's the title of it. And it goes like this, it goes like, ese estilo. So yo empiezo, hey, ¿Dónde están los cristianos? People go, hey! ¿Dónde están los aleluya? Hey! Right? ¿Dónde están los alegres? But after I say co-positive things, I start, hey, ¿dónde están los ladrones? ¿Dónde está Jezabel? ¿Dónde están los
Wow.
fornicarios? I just start doing the place where they'd be like in silence, but the pastors would love it. The pastors say, you're the only one that can get away with singing stuff like that.
Yeah. You know what? And Jesse, that's actually a good point. Like, you have an amazing stage presence. Like, your music is great and everything. But so if somebody listens to you, they love it. But then they watch you live and it's just, you're on fire. Like, anytime I've ever seen you live, is there something to that? Where does that come from? Like,
Yeah, man. There is. As a matter of fact, Matt's here. He can tell you. Were you there last Sunday? Yeah, Sunday when I sang in Spanish all of a sudden. Yeah, we were singing an original song, and but I'm in the back, and I stay away from. I don't lead or anything, but I felt the tug of God, because we were talking about healing our land, and the pastor was just preaching about equality and all that stuff, and I gave signal to one of the girls, and they brought the mic to me, and I sang the part in Spanish. I just sang the little part in Spanish about sana nuestra tierra, and even though people don't understand me, but man, I'm telling you, the people started praising God, and as I'm walking out, people are stopping me now. Everybody in church knows me now. And I've been there. How long have we been at the church? 2 years. We've been there 2 years. Okay, so now everybody knows me at the church. But let me tell you, it's a blessing, because I don't need, when I go to church, I go to worship. I don't have to lead. There was a while there I thought, man, I'm never gonna sing. I'm never gonna do nothing. But that's not what God wants from me. God wants me to just serve where I am.
amen.
It's
Amen.
tough for us. It's tough for
Yeah.
us who've done it like you. You
Yeah.
played all those years in churches, and now you're starting all over again.
Yeah.
Something new.
Yeah, if I may share a story, I had a situation where I had moved to Springfield, Missouri, from New Jersey. I was a worship pastor there. I moved to Springfield, Missouri to go to the seminary, and when I went out there, I landed in a big church, 13,000 people, huge church in Springfield, Missouri, James River, amazing church if you ever go out there. So we were in that church, and I was starting to play drums because I play drums also. It's my first instrument. So I started playing drums, and they're calling me more to come and play with the worship band. So I used to play in the big room with the young people, with which was 1,000 kids, that alone. But then they called me for a service for the big church, the 13,000. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome, right? So they call me, if something fails, I got family. But so anyway, so they call me, they go, Rob, we want you to play for this big event we've got. So I'm thinking, oh man, I'm gonna play for the big service. Great time. Long story short, I get there and they say, hey Rob, okay, hey, just find your label here. It turned out they wanted me to play along with like another 20 more drummers. They wanted us to walk down the aisles, just hitting a drum on the beat. And I honestly, in my flesh, got so insulted. I'm like, really? Like anybody can do this? Got so insulted. But God ministered to me right there and told me, listen, if that's all I need from you, that's what you're going to do. And spiritually, I wasn't ready. I snuck out. But it was, God really showed me, listen, you do whatever I need you to do. I don't care what you've done, who you are, where you came from. None of that matters. Because we get heady. For me at the time, I was thinking, I'm a worship pastor. Like, how am I going to come here and do that? Yeah. But no, we do what God needs us to do, Anyway,
that's good stuff, man. And that's powerful. I've been on both ends. I've been on both ends of that, the spectrum, if you will. And I remember things, that have marked me. But I've also remembered people who just loved God and gave me a good word to help me. And that's what I'm trying to do tonight, is for all of you who are playing and who want to play, just remember that it's a gift that God gave you. This is not your own. You don't own it. You don't have rights. You don't have this is a God-given thing. Mm-hmm. And so as he blesses you and continue to develop, remember to give it back to him. And when it's time to worship. Don't get to the point where well, if they don't pay me, I'm not playing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm just trying to say, because I've been in that position where I could have gone to a church here weeks ago that they offered me to play, and I know my wife can tell you, and they offered me to play, but I said, you know what, I'm busy at my church. I worship at my church.
Yeah. And the thing is here, like, let's face it, as musicians, few of us are gonna be able to make enough money, if you will,
Right.
to make it, right? Even guys that have made it. I have friends that are working with some really
Yeah.
popular people, and even they have to struggle, as musicians.
Yep.
So if we got out of the mindset that money is the big answer here, it's not. It's really not. It's service.
Yeah.
That's what Jesus taught us, and that's what we need to go after. Yeah.
Is anybody else ask?
Let's see. Let me see. Brother, let's see. I'm looking forward to that. Aida Gonzalez. It seems like everybody that's really great in Christian music has the name Gonzalez for some reason. Rene Gonzalez, Aida Gonzalez, Jessie Gonzalez. Let's see. I'm not seeing any questions. Guys, you have any questions that you want to ask Jessie? Go ahead and post them now. And
I want to give a shout out to my brother Truck. I love you very much. My brother Steven, I love you. The white boy of my family. My brother Che, if he's watching, I love you. God did a miracle. My brother Che, man, he had cancer in his throat. The Lord healed him from that. And he's a best-selling ghostwriter now. And I'm very proud of him. He's doing really, really well. Stevie's doing great too. My sister Serena is awesome. My sister Marilyn, amazing. She's got a ministry in Brazil. My sister married a Brazilian guy. And my brother Orlando plays drums at the church he goes to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And my brother Harrison's a pastor.
Yeah. Oh,
and
wow.
Harrison's my best friend in the whole world. Harrison's my very best friend. I wanted you to know that.
That's awesome. Listen, and your wife is coming out with an album, right?
That's one of the things that before you said, what was the last thing you told me you were going to ask me, like what's in the works. I want to tell you, man, my little wife singing pretty good. I'm very proud of her because I used to tell her, babe, you're a very average singer. You shouldn't record. I mean, I told her, listen, you record. Renee's gonna laugh at me. Mike and Julissa, all my top friends, Benjamin, they were like, yeah, Gemano, what are you doing? And so I would tell her, and it really broke her heart. I mean, she's over here. She gets Jasmine. You don't want to show your face because your hair's all messy, right? You don't want to come for everybody to see you. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. One day, after years and years, okay, she always, because when she first met me because she wanted me to play guitar for her on the recording she was gonna do. Jasmine, this is my wife Jasmine right there.
Hi, Jasmine.
And one day I said, you know what, Jasmine? Let's go to the studio and we recorded a song. Let me tell you something. She sang so sweet. When I was like, in the first verse, I told radio, I said, my engineer, I said, oh my goodness, she sounds sweet. She sounds great. And then, she started like, I told you, give me a chance. But then we did one song, we did two, we did three, and now we did 12. We finished 12.
Nice.
Jessie Gonzalez sings a song with her. My brother Harrison sings a song with her. My sister Serena from the Gonzalez brothers sings a song with her. I sing a song with her too, right? I sing a couple songs, I do backups for her. And I'm very proud of Jasmine. You want to sing a little bit of just a little bit of it?
Come on.
I like to put her on the spot because she doesn't like to be in front too much, but she's got to snap out of that because we're going to sing together.
She's doing great. Let's hear her.
Esta canción la escribió una muchacha de Texas, Waco, Texas, Susie Solis, que escribió casi todas las canciones, wrote most of the songs that Jasmine sings. Jasmine always felt like this girl writes for me, like what she's writing about.
Everything she wrote, it just ministered. So
let's get closer here, we'll just do a little bit of it. Ready? Go. Puedo perderlo todo. You remember? Let's go. You remember?
I don't remember all the
Puedo perderlo todo.
I'll follow you.
En un instante quedar sola. There you go, Jasmine. Entrar en un desierto, quedarme sin aliento, la oscuridad. De fuerza pueden herir mi corazón. traicionarme una y otra. I love these words here. Todo puede ocurrir, puede empezar de nuevo otra vez, pero si me faltas tú, ¿cómo puedo continuar? Pero no puedo vivir sin ti. Pero no puedo, Señor, vivir sin ti.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Great job. Thank you so much.
Don't be
Thank you
mad
so
for doing that
much.
to her.
Sorry.
She'll give it.
You did great.
But I tell Jasmine, this is the thing you got to get ready for because, this. Let me tell you about. You asked me about what I was gonna do. I had stages in my life. I had the Gonzalez brothers. I had the trio. I done solo stuff. Ricky was my bass player when I played a lot in New York. Anywhere people saw me in New York, Ricky was playing with me and my brother Orlando. Now I have a new stage. My family. Worshiping with
Amen.
my daughter Jay. Have you seen my boy Benny playing cajon yet?
I have not.
Tell Benny to play the cajon real quick. We gotta do a song. We gotta do a little song for you real quick. You gotta see my little boy, man. 8 years old.
Yeah.
You gotta see him. You gotta see him play. And then after that, we'll say goodbye. After that.
Hey, and Jesse, such a great point there. Family, man. So many musicians, unfortunately, sometimes, family suffers.
I'm guilty of that. I was guilty
Yeah.
of that, but I changed because one of the things that I realized is that I had the power to help my wife's dream come true.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah,
So
that's a
Benny's gonna come over here.
He's fixing his hair
Oh,
because
Benny's
that's
fixing his
how
hair.
he is.
That's okay. He's fixing his hair. Let him fix his hair. We're gonna do a little tune for you.
okay.
Pero el nene lo tiene en la sangre, ven.
Yeah.
All right, here he is.
Hey, Benny, how are you, sir?
Good.
Good.
8 years old.
Let's hear that cajon, man.
What is that song? The new song they wrote? Oh,
You know what? Now think about it. I think you posted a video where you guys are singing and he's playing.
Gboyz.
so I go. Oh, yo tengo que alabar tu nombre. Me fortalezco cuando yo le alabo. Tengo que alabar tu nombre por toda la eternidad. Por toda la eternidad. Come on, funk it. Thank you, Benny.
That's awesome. Man, he's
So-
tight.
So
He's
what
tight.
I want to say is that God did something to me where I was thinking I was just gonna go on tour, forget the family thing, and this married thing isn't working out anyway. And a man can find any excuse to not get things right.
Hmm.
But he's got to come to a point where like you got to repent. You got to say, Lord, I need you. And I didn't want to lose my family. And besides, this is a part of my legacy right here. These three new children God gave me. So I'm really proud that we made it through. We were 2 weeks away from the divorce, right? We were gonna go see the lawyer, and one day my wife was putting the kids to bed. Benny was 6 years old. Benny's 8 now, right? Benny, you're 8 years old. But he was 6, and he said to my wife one day, "Mom, you always talk about God and forgiveness and stuff, but God forgives Dad. Why can't you forgive me?" She said, "En ese momento, like, oh my goodness, And so she had to stop and think and just say, you know what, I'm willing to give him another chance. And
Yeah.
here we are.
Wow, that's amazing. Hey, listen, Thank you so much, Jessie, for sharing those stories and for sharing this time with us. It's awesome. It's a blessing to us. We are definitely going to share this back on Facebook. We're going to put the video back up and get that up there. But listen, real quick, if you don't mind, we love you as musicians, younger musicians, and there's even much younger than I am. But Jesse, you've been an inspiration to us. I'd like, if you don't mind, would you take some time and just pray for us, pray for us as a community? I don't think we have this in the Spanish circles, so man, we really kind of need that. So would you mind?
A pastor told me one day, from a church, from a large church, and if I remember his name, I'm going to say it to you. Uh, uh, when I remember it, I'm going to tell it to you. He said, Jesse, the Lord wants you to mentor people and to be a father of musicians.
Amen.
And
Amen.
I feel like that's more of what I'm doing now. I've got a lot of people that that know me. And listen, man, there's a kid named Chris. He's in this group. Chris, what's his name?
Castillo,
Castillo.
drummer.
Yeah,
Chris.
what a sweet kid. He played drums on the track for me yesterday. He killed it. He's got the right spirit. He's got the right heart. God bless him. I want to give a shout out to him.
Yeah.
So I think that I welcome that. And, any of you want to get in touch, man, I'm very easy to find. I'm not difficult to find it out. Jessie Gonzalez on Facebook and Jessie Gonzalez on Instagram. And my wife and I have a page, Jessie E. Jasmine on Facebook now, because my wife's album is gonna come up. Well, singles are out, but But I love prayer. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. I'm thinking about
no, you're good, man.
But I'll do a prayer. Lord, I just want to thank you because in the koinonia of your love, you allow people to come into our lives, and I want to thank you for Kiki, and thank you for people like him who have always been just so gracious, and I just remember seeing him over the years, and the smile on his face and the way he always encouraged me, tells me, Jesse, man, when you minister, it really blesses me. I pray for all the musicians who might be watching and who want to continue to worship, that they would not forget that you're the reason why we do it all. You are so good to us in every way. And I pray that you would open doors for musicians, those that want to make a living at it. But before they make a living, they have to live for you. Before they even make money, they have to understand that the heart has to be in the right place. Because before the trio left, we were not making anything until we went full time. And the Lord gave us so many wonderful years. And I want to thank the Lord for those years that he gave us. But I know it was by his grace and his mercy. So I want to pray for all the musicians that they will remember to give it back to God. And whenever the church needs you, step in, do your part. Don't be selfish with your talent. Give it back to the church. When someone wants to take lessons, if they can't afford it, teach them anyway. So in the name of Jesus, I bless all the musicians. Thank you all who've come out. I'm so grateful for this moment. I've done many interviews over the years, and this has been my favorite because I feel like I've been very transparent in this one.
Thank you. And listen, I got to ask you, because my boy's going to be mad at me if I don't ask here. So when I moved to Florida, the Lord connected us to a Christian rapper, somebody that God has been really using. And so I helped him out with some things. And we recently did a little, it was supposed to be a trap music song. We converted it to like a merengue rap thing.
Oh, cool.
It's I think I'm not sure if I shared it with you or not, but anyway, he's like, hey, would Jesse be open to helping us out? And so I just want to put it out there. Yeah, I'm gonna send you the track so you can hear it. And
send me the track. And Matt has his own recording studio. He'd help me, right, Matt?
Is that right?
Yeah,
yeah.
He'd help me, so I'd do it.
Yeah, guys, check him out, Julio Angel. He's a great guy, and the Lord is gonna be doing some great things. We'll chat some more. But Jesse, thank you so much for your time, your wife, your family, for sharing you with us tonight. And do you want to take us out with a song? It sounded like the most appropriate thing.
I want to sing the song that I wrote when Benny passed away. We were burying him, and this is the song that I wanted to complain to God, but this is the song that I wrote. Now remember, the youngest of 8 passes away. We're very, very close, and this is the song I wrote. One thing's for sure, God is faithful. His sovereignty reigns forevermore. Glory and honor, dominion or power, of His grace have no doubt. God is faithful. One thing's for sure, God is faithful. His sovereignty reigns forevermore. Glory and honor, dominion or power, of His grace have no doubt. Remove all fear and doubt. Of His grace have no doubt. God is faithful.
Amen. Thank you so much. And Jesse, just so you know, I'm reading the comments. Everybody's so thankful for you. Thank you for your legacy. And everybody's just showing so much appreciation. They love you. We love you. Jesse, thank you so much again for doing this. And guys, thank you for watching. We're going to be sharing it on Facebook, so be sure to share it with your friends there.
For those of you who want to join our group, man, put your name on here. The president here is going to accept you quickly. And I'm going to nominate myself like as a part of his board of trustees.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be a part of this. And, you know, we got to bring some white boys on here. We're going to bring Matt Thornton on and bring, you know, it's called Spanish Christian Musicians, but it's for anybody that loves music. So
absolutely. All right, Jesse, thank you so much. God bless you guys.
All right.